Hi, everybody.
We're live.
We are live. Hello, folks. Hi,
So live.
Dana.
Hi, Steve. Although, I'm saying hi again because I said hi to you a few minutes ago when I was panicking over my earbuds not connecting.
Right.
Hi.
But the folks at home or wherever they happen to be watching this from didn't get to see that.
I know.
So
Y'all missed out. It was its own sort of entertaining.
it's always interesting doing live streams with Dana, or even knowing Dana when Dana is doing one of her own live streams, because you never know. You never know what it'll be 5 minutes. It'll be 5 minutes before showtime, and you'll get a message that goes something like, "Nothing is working. What do I do?"
that sums it up quite well. That
And then you have to
honestly,
figure out
kind of sums
what
up
the
my
problem
life.
is.
You're talking about my life, Steve. Okay, you're talking about my life.
I think I've told you this before. I think you have gremlins. I think gremlins, like, they have migrated away from airplanes and mechanical contraptions, and they just follow you around, and every once in a while they get bored and they just fuck up your computer.
Yeah.
You know, they just randomly, like, unpair your earbuds or sign you out of stuff, and then you're like, what?
And it goes boop.
So other than that, how are things?
Next week is final exams.
That's right. We recorded a commute for your Patreon this week, and you said that this week,
which is live,
which is up on your Patreon now, patreon.com/DanaColdares. This past Monday when we recorded it is the last Monday of the school year, you said? Or no, one more Monday.
One more Monday.
So yeah.
So we'll have next Monday, and then the following Monday is Memorial Day, and then we have 2 days for our post planning. There's someone on my PC, something.
That is a reference to a classic Twilight Zone episode.
I'm sorry.
One of the 2 classic Twilight Zone episodes starring William Shatner. Probably the better known of the 2, but not my personal favorite of the 2, but still an excellent episode.
You're such a nerd. Such a nerd. You know how much of a nerd you are?
Please tell me.
Such a nerd.
Such a nerd.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to clarify that. Hi, Snake Bit Cat.
Hi, Snake Bit Cat.
So I'm trying to stress about finals less than my students are. That's like my goal. It's not really working all that well. Yeah, it's just not. I'm like, and I've got one who I think I've got 3 that are resigned, have just been like, okay, I'm just going to do summer school. I'm like, but
like, too late.
But it doesn't have to be. Snake Bit Cat, that's nice.
And it's not actually true. I wouldn't say I'm a Suchet nerd. I have enjoyed his work on Poirot as we've watched it, but obviously, the reason we're watching it now is that I've never watched it before. So it would be
a darn shame.
It would be, well, but not really, because we get to watch it together for the show.
We can still watch it even if you'd watched it before. Maybe not for this, but
not for this, but yes, we could watch it just.
But not everything has to be content.
As a wise man said earlier today.
So, how has your week been?
Pretty good. Busy. I've been working like a dog, assuming that the dog being referenced is a very hardworking dog, because some dogs are just downright lazy.
it tends to be associated more with cats, but yeah, some dogs are just they're chill to the point of not working.
Yeah, like you see it. There's some dogs you just look at them and you see they're not getting any work out of that dog at all. So
And the dog is perfectly content for it
the
to be that
dog
way.
doesn't give a shit. The dog is fine. Uh, and good for the dog, by the way. I'm not saying we
Yeah.
need to work dogs any harder than we are. I'm just saying, the expression doesn't necessarily match reality. But yes, I've been working very hard. I had a video go up today that I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty pleased with, and people seem to like. It's this month's proper Trek actually video about Captain Sisko and his various nemesis.
As opposed to your improper Trek videos.
Indeed, yes, indeed. Um, the not actuallys, the ones that I put. Oh, although I see. Here's the thing. It used to be I created like kind of a soft line between sort of regulation Trek actually videos and then the ones that were still, you know, basically the
Unregulated?
same. Well, they're still basically the same thing, but I call them not actually Trek actually videos. But at a certain point, and originally they were ones where I wouldn't write them. I would just kind of riff on a Star Trek related topic. Um,
But
and I still
now,
do that. And I still do that with the comment responses. Like I don't script those. I just respond to the comments.
mhm.
But
It's
for the
like a
most part,
conversation of sorts.
yeah. But for the most part, the not actually Trek actuallys are just as scripted as the Trek actuallys. So the dividing line is not really as meaningful. The
So
only
so
real
how do
difference
you
is
how
that,
do you decide which one's which then?
well, the regulation Trek actuallys are ones where the topic is chosen by the Patreon and member poll.
Ah, and
So
so the
they're like the
non-regulation is just
official.
whatever you want.
It's whatever I feel like. Yeah. Um, Sean O'Sullivan, when will I crack the 1 million views video? You mean like when will I get a single video that has 1 million views? I don't know, but it can't happen soon enough. That would be pretty great. That would be terrific.
Spread the words, friends. Steve will
Yeah,
sing.
sure. Um,
On this show, after a video
if
hits a
I get a
million
video
of
that, if
views,
yeah, yeah, I would.
we'll
Of
have
course,
Steve sing on this show.
I will sing, sing, sing. Um, but yeah, so
Probably as soon as you get
uh,
the notification, to be honest.
as soon as I see that it's, oh, that one's really taken off. Ah! um, no, so I did that. That went up, and that video it's slightly longer than, yes, Philip, and the videos all have the word actually in the title, and the not actuallys don't have actually in the title. Um,
Well,
but
actually,
uh, but Well, oh, so the video that went up today was 53 minutes, which is a little on the long side for one of my Star Trek videos. So I was working extra diligently on it to make sure I had it ready in time because it takes longer to process, when it's a longer video, and I wanted to make sure it was ready to come up on time, and it was, and I'm very happy with it. It worked out very well.
you're so
And then
diligent.
and next week's Wednesday Star Trek video is also going to be kind of long,
You just have
because
a lot to say, don't you?
because next week's video is the season 3 Star Trek Picard video essay, sort of like my cumulative thoughts about the season of Picard. Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, actually I wrote a piece at the beginning of it because when Jason and I were doing our episode reviews of Picard this year, where we would watch the episode together and then we would record right after that. So it was very sort of, we didn't write it out ahead of time, and we were just sort of, composing our thoughts on the fly. And they weren't, and of course it was both of us. So it was a back and forth, and
Mhm.
it wasn't like the Star Trek retro reviews that I do on Thursdays, where it's like I
Right.
watch the episode and then I write a review, and it's more composed and it's more thoughtful, and then I record it.
Hear that,
And
Jason? You're just not very thoughtful.
yeah, well, I was doing the same thing. So, but and there were some people who would leave comments on
And you're
those
a bad
videos.
influence.
Yeah. There were some people who would leave comments on those videos and say like, "Oh, I wish you would do like a scripted review, and it would be more, so the intro for next week's video is me basically saying, "Are you sure this is what
Okay,
you want?"
fine.
Well, no, it's me saying, "Are you sure this is what you want?" Because
Because
like,
people are going to come back and say, "Oh, well, why do you even watch Star Trek if you don't
yeah,
like it?"
exactly. Yeah. Well, but they say that there are certain people that say that anytime you say anything remotely critical about it, they're like, "Why do you even watch it?" It's like, I didn't say I hated all of it. I didn't even say I hated this. I just said I didn't think this was good. Like, I'm not mad about it. I'm not like, it is what it is. Um, but, but yeah, I mean, I basically say at the beginning, like, look, because I know some people are like this and that's fine. But if hearing someone talk about a show, if hearing someone express negative opinions about a show you liked is the kind of thing that bums you out, maybe don't watch this one,
Watch this.
because that's what this is going to be, because I didn't like the show. I'm not going to like rant and rave about it. I'm going to go into detail and try to be critical and, articulate, but it's not going to be positive for the most part. I do talk about the good things. The first section of the actual review is me
The
talking about
few
the
and
good stuff.
far and in between.
It's after the introduction, it's divided into 8 parts. Part 1 is the good stuff. So the other
Parts
7 parts,
2 through 8.
parts 2 through 8 are devoted to things I don't think worked for me, but part 1 is the good stuff. So,
So that's the proportion.
yeah.
Apparently, Mr. I Love the Ants, or a dozen, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and also, bad shows can have good episodes, which I think was the case for Picard this season, because there were some good episodes.
Some? I said more than
There was,
one?
there was one very good episode, and there were a couple not bad episodes.
So it edges out, it edges in above Titans.
See, well,
Oh,
here's the thing. It's tough because they're bad for such different reasons. Like, Titans is bad because it's just joyless. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a slog. Like, it's like, why would anybody be entertained by this? Why would anybody want to watch this? Like, with at least with Picard, like, even though it's totally not my cup of tea, like, I get the appeal for people who like that sort of thing. If you like fan service, if you like seeing familiar characters and seeing ships that you remember, like, if that does it for you, well, there you go. You're going to be happy, because that's practically all it is. That's not what I'm there for. But I get, if that's your kind of thing, it gives you that.
You can appreciate it. You just don't like it.
But Titans is just misery. It's just misery after misery after misery. And so they're bad in different ways. It's tough to say which one I think is worse. I mean, there's nothing wrong structurally.
So it's not, but it's more that it sounds like from what you're saying, it sounds like Titans is worse creatively than Picard, but it's just that Picard is less to your particular liking.
That sounds,
based on a paraphrasing of what you're saying, with me having seen neither of those shows,
none of them,
because I don't watch stuff that I don't like. I turn it off.
Just going by what I remember from the first 2 seasons of Titans, because it's been a while since I watched it. I think Titans was a more punishing show to watch. Picard was, even in season 2, when it was just absolutely fucking awful, like when there was almost no redeeming content at all. Like, it was never hard. It was never hard to watch. Like, it never felt like, oh God, I have to sit through another hour of this. Like, I didn't like it. And there were times where I was like amazed at how bad it was and the ways in which it was bad. But it was never like punishing to watch it. Titans, there are episodes of Titans that are so miserable that it's just like, oh God, why am I sitting through this? So in that sense,
I wondered that. I asked you that repeatedly. Mr. I Love the Ants, I liked that. That was quite clever.
The only people who know how to use, I know who use the word woke are complaining about it. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah. I've had a good week, but I've had a busy week.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it's been the good kind of busy.
Yeah. And today I got to go for a walk, and it was a lovely day, and
Yay,
now I'm going to
it's
watch
that time of
Poirot
year.
with you and eat some pizza. It's going to be great.
Yay. Yeah, pretty good. I'm looking forward to really the next several days, to be honest, outside of school, where I'll just be like, please, please, please show me that you have paid attention at some point this term and that you have learned anything.
Just show
Anything
me
at all.
something. Give me something.
Give me something, please. And the thing is, what's getting me at this point is like some of them have previously, and now it's like, yeah, but I already showed you that. Now I can just go back to forgetting it and not knowing what I'm doing anymore. And I'm just, but no, the idea is you keep it stays remembered. And I realize that, this coming from me is like the blackest of hypocrisies for things to stay remembered. But
yeah.
255 AD, no, it is not intentional. And actually, we're going to be doing 3
You
two-parters.
took the words right out of my mouth.
I got to it first because
on Friday.
So I'm not there yet. Tomorrow, after school, I'm going to be rushing home because I've got a therapy appointment, and I can tell my therapist about all the craziness of the last month. And then I go from there to a bookstore where the library has arranged a painting event, which sounds like a lot of fun. And they have 2 books that I've ordered, and they're waiting there for me. They already have them in. I'm very excited about that. And then I go from there back to here to do my education chat podcast. So it's like zoom, 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 zoom.
Busy.
It's Friday, Steve. Not only is it Friday, it is a very special Friday evening, everybody, because we're going to watch something that we both have previously watched and we both enjoy.
That's right.
So
that's right. And
it's not Picard.
No, it's not. And the link is in the description of this live stream. It's another, we're calling them the back row, where we watch things together that we've both seen before. And we've previously done 9 to 5. And then before that we did Galaxy Quest. So this time we mentioned this last week, but for those of you who missed it, we're not watching a movie this time. We're watching we're watching a TV episode, and we are watching a 2-part episode.
Yes.
Of Batman the Animated Series.
Yay!
So wherever y'all watch Batman
the Animated Series, or has this segued
in? This is Batman. This is Batman the Animated Series. So wherever y'all are watching Batman Animated Series, find, whether it's HBO Max or some other streaming service or DVDs you have or whatever, we're going to watch part 1 and then also part 2 in the same show of Robin's Reckoning, which is a very important episode because it is the episode that hooked Dana on Batman for life.
And also because it's just really good.
And it's a good episode. Yeah.
It's good.
So that's Friday. That's this Friday at 6. And then on Saturday, and this is also linked in the description, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, so an hour earlier than our usual live stream start time, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, it will be Dana.
Because we have another person.
Yes, it'll be Dana and me and Jason, all 3 of us on together, because that's when we're doing our Season 5 Ensign's Log live stream. So lots of live streaming coming up tonight, Friday, Saturday.
Lots going on.
It's going to be really cool. And we'll talk about the Ensign's Log one again on Friday when we're doing the Batman watch along. But also, there's a couple questions in the chat. Ghost Wheel says, curious, have you rewatched Picard without Jason? Good Lord, no. Why would I do that? And John Ginger says, I'm hoping Strange New World Season 2 will bring you joy. I'm looking forward to it. Well, so am I. Season 1 certainly did. I am very much looking forward to Strange New World season 2. Yes.
So I want to address. I actually haven't watched. Did we watch the first episode of Strange New Worlds? Did we watched the other one,
Yes.
Discovery? No, was it
We
Strange New
did,
Worlds?
I can't remember if we watched an episode of Discovery together or not. I know we watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds together.
Okay.
Yes.
And I remember you've talked about it a lot, and Kara, I'm guessing about it. But the thing is, this is before he becomes disabled. And so,
Pike,
Kara said,
yes,
if
yes.
one becomes disabled, badly injured, then your life is over. But the thing is, this is something that is presented to him as, this is what's going to happen. It's not something that he's experiencing. And I think
Right.
that shifts it, because he's looking at it from an outsider's perspective. And I think how that framing changes it, because when you're going through, let's be honest, it is a disability, not just because it's something that happens to him that changes his abilities, because that happens. That life is change, or existence is change. And as you as you go through life, your abilities change. Some get stronger, some get weaker, just as you go. Some, you develop new skills and new abilities, and you lose old ones. That part of living.
Yeah.
And but some of them, when your environment is not set up to support you, then it becomes a disability. And dealing with that is a challenge. Let's be honest. Dealing with, not being supported in doing what you want and especially need to do, that sucks. And when it's a challenge that you deal with for any length of time, you develop strategies for coping with it. And when it's something that you deal with for any length of time, because of the cyclical exactly, but the fluctuating nature of our emotional state, it's not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are perfectly able-bodied, you are going to have not great days. And even when you're disabled, you're going to have good days. But he hasn't experienced that yet. All he knows about it is he is going to experience this traumatic event. And so he's seeing it as, it makes more sense from that perspective to think, oh, well, this is going to be a terrible thing. Yeah. But he knows that his life goes on, and he hasn't thought that far into the future.
Right.
That his life goes on. And
also, I mean, the glimpses of Pike's disability that we get in Star Trek, and the main one that we get is from the original series episode, The Menagerie, which is the one that introduces the idea that Pike suffered an accident and is in a beep chair now. It doesn't look like a very nice existence. I mean, because he's forced to rely on the chair for mobility. He doesn't seem able to move on his own. He can't even speak on his own, which is where beep chair comes from, because he beeps, 1 for yes and 2 for no. He's scarred on his face. It doesn't look like a very nice existence at all. And that impression is all that the version of Pike that we follow in Strange New Worlds. That's all he knows. He just knows that's how he's going to end up at some point in the relatively near future, in the next 7 or 8 years. And that's what is sort of haunting him. He knows that that's waiting for him inevitably in the future. What he doesn't know is, because you make a really good point, all he knows is basically the worst parts of it. He doesn't know what happens after that. We Star Trek nerds know that
I don't.
he doesn't. Well, what happens is, basically at the end of that episode I mentioned, The Menagerie, Pike is taken to the planet that he visited in the original Star Trek pilot, the Cage. And the aliens on that planet have telepathic powers that they can use to basically project any fantasy that they want into another person's mind. So they can make you see and feel and experience whatever they can imagine.
Mhm.
And the very strong implication at the end of that, at the end of the menagerie, when Beep Chair Pike is delivered back to these people, is that they are going to
Mhm.
use their mental powers to allow him to escape his disability. And that even though he will still physically be in the chair, mentally and the way he experiences his life from that point on will be, you know, not that. You know, he will be able
Mhm.
to believe and experience life as though he is not in the chair. So he doesn't quite escape it, but he gets a reprieve from it in a way,
Mhm.
you
And
know.
that's
um
interesting because that creates its
Talos 4, yeah,
own,
Kara. Yeah.
yeah, it creates its own set of awkwardnesses. That it's not so bad if you can just imagine it differently. Um, and Kara, I would, again, I don't know how much more Pike gets explored in the within canon, or within the storyline's future. Um, but you know, I think Star Trek is a great example of you don't have to be useful. And I think there are a number of stories that do reflect on the importance of an interior life. I think as
Mhm.
a social species, effective communication is important, and so it would be interesting to see, um, like, what I would hope that they would do is that with extended exposure to this new form, that the projective telepathy could be something that he learns, so that he's able to communicate, like,
Maybe.
if other people, if the the Trek people, the Federation, yeah, those guys, those
Those
guys come
people.
back, those guys. If the Federation comes back, he's able to communicate effectively with them by projecting his thoughts and say, "Hey, here's what's going on in this planet. How are you guys doing?" Da, 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 da. And he can
Right.
just communicate, in fact, possibly even more effectively than they can, because he's not limited by verbal expression. That he can communicate his emotions through his thoughts and his perceptions as well. And so, because this experience has forced him, he's developed, again, new ways of dealing with this. So again, I think how they go about it in the future, it makes me curious about it, because we do have different expectations for how we discuss and how we tell stories about and how we treat people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So yeah.
255 AD, 255 AD is not going to be joining us tonight because he's tired and going on a long trip on Friday. So thanks for stopping by and saying hi, and have fun on your trip.
Kara, that's true, but I mean, eventually we're all gonna die. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the death is a part of, the what life is. If I mean,
Well,
living
and
things die.
that's kind of the point that Pike in Strange New Worlds comes to with it. Um,
Nobody's promised tomorrow.
yeah, and I think I think he may even say that in the first episode, that, you know, I mean, he obviously still struggles with it throughout the season, as you would imagine anyone would in reality, when, you know, you've had this revelation about something that is waiting for you in the future and there's nothing you can do about it. It is analogous to death in a sense, in that sense, because it's there in the future, you know, it's coming.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to prevent it. And what Pike has kind of come to peace with is, well, I have some time before that happens. So I should try to make the most
Hmm.
of the time I have before this happens. And that's kind of, you know, and that,
I
and
think
it, what,
you discussed that
yeah,
when that, or I don't know if it was on this or just when we were talking
yeah,
about it, and I don't know if I brought up that, but in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, Shakespeare has Julius Caesar say much the same thing. It is puzzling to me that people are afraid of death, knowing that it's gonna happen and it's gonna happen when it happens, and other than attempting to create it ourselves, there's not a whole lot that we can do about it. It will come when it comes, and you know, and it's not going to not come. So, which ironically, he's saying this in the big scene before, you know, you know,
he gets it in right at the last minute. Like,
yeah. Well,
anyway, off to the Senate.
Yep. We do have a teeny tiny. No, wait, is that 3-2? I think we do have a teeny tiny interlude with Artemidorus, who's like, oh, if I give him this note and he reads it, maybe he'll live. And then we pop over to Portia, who's like, oh no, I'm so worried about my husband. I'm so worried. Oh me, what a weak woman I am. And then we get on.
You love Portia.
Gosh.
255 AD, thank you very much. That's very appreciative. I appreciate that very much.
Get good sleep and have a safe trip.
Shall
we watch Poirot?
Shall we watch Poirot? The little Belgian? The funny little Belgian?
With the mustache.
With the little gray cells?
So many of them.
So many little gray. Okay, so we are watching Series 2, Episode 1, Part 1. Now, this I believe this originally was aired as just a single 2-hour episode, but the version that Dana and I are watching on YouTube has been divided into 2 episodes. So we're watching Part 1 tonight. It's 53 minutes and 5 seconds. So if you are not watching, you know, Part 1, if the version you have is the whole thing, then we might have to work something out next week as far as like where you need to pick up to sync up with us. But
make a note of it, like write it down and then put it on a post-it and put it on your computer or your television so that you know where to go.
We're gonna watch Poirot, Kara, I promise, in just a minute. Okay, so anyway, it's Series 2, Episode 1, Peril at End House, Part 1. So Dana, you have taken great joy lately in explaining how the process works.
But yeah, so just like when Steve is starting the episode and I'm like, okay, have you clicked all the buttons except for the last one? There's a button that we are all going to click and we're all going to click it together. The way that we're all going to click it together is Steve is going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And we're all going to click play when Steve says play.
Yes.
Not on one. Not after play, but when he says play.
When I say play, yes.
And then also there's, if you, well, I guess if I say this now, it's not going to matter. But if you get off sync, you can see which direction. It's up here, right? Up here.
It's up at the top.
It's up, time code's up at the top. And so you can kind of resynchronize with us.
There you go.
So, and I was going to say if you come in late, but if they came in late, then they wouldn't see this. So it wouldn't matter.
But gee, why is there a time code? Figure it out.
Read the description and leave a comment.
It's not a riddle. Gee, they're doing a watch along and there's a time code running. I wonder what that could mean. Like, figure it out. I can't hold your hand for you. You know, appropriate. Yeah. All right.
Kara, I am
ready?
Before the purple flower. Actually, I'm at the black screen.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm so ready, Steve.
Okay.
My finger is poised.
All right. I will count us in 3, 2, 1. Play.
Yay! Uh-oh.
There's the purple flower.
A little bit of teal.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This weird smile. Oh, hello.
I don't mind the weird smile. The third eye is a little bit disturbing, but the little spiky things, don't like them. I don't mind it here where it's clear that they're the perspective lines on like the train and the airplane and stuff.
No, the animation is great. Yeah.
Aside from those purple spiky things across his face.
Now he's on, and then there's that little shot where he's on like a David Copperfield set, and then he walks down the. Is someone following Peril?
Don't like it again. Don't like it.
Get the triangles off his face.
The triangles, the lesser than greater than signs going past each other. This is not a math thing. Yay! Yeah, I get that too, Kara, but I went all the way back and there's like a split second where it's just darkness before it gets the blue blob. Because when I load it first, I get that and then I have to go back. He's not happy. Look at the money we spent. And everyone else is.
Poirot is going to be sick.
Kara, he is not afraid of flying. He's afraid of crashing.
He's not afraid of flying. He hates flying.
I mean, I don't know if I would like it either if you had to like help the propeller get going at the beginning.
Yeah, that doesn't instill you with confidence, does it?
Not so much.
Hang on, we'll take off in a second. Let me just whip the propeller around by hand to start the motor.
Yeah, the travel in here is always a delight. Trains, planes, and automobiles, and they're all so pretty.
Yeah.
See, Ghost Wheel, exactly. Poirot just doesn't like the odds. It is lovely. It is so wonderful that we are on land.
Thank you, Genghis Khan. I wonder which one of these people will
That's
be
a terrible
murdered while
dive.
I'm here. It was more of just a flop, wasn't it?
Yeah, just like, I'm in the
Oh,
water.
forget it. He never hears me. Ooh, snakebit cat, I like that.
I mean, Kara.
B.A. Poirocus. I like that a lot. That is some quality work. Poirot pities the fool who commits murder while he is in the vicinity.
Is very foolish fool. Try it again. Not a whole lot better.
Oh, shit. Woo.
So how many of those people are male and how many of them are female? Because I'm kind of confused. Hastings, she is taken.
Hastings don't care.
I think I'm a little bit off. What are you at?
7, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do you need to catch up?
Mm-hmm. Give me your count again.
750,
Okay, good.
51,
Yeah.
52. Okay,
Okay. I'm caught up. I'm good. Thank
good.
you.
Okay. No problem. That's what it's there for.
Done. Mm-mm-mm.
Poirot, if you're hungry, just order something. You don't have to eat the dirt from the flowers.
He tried. He
Yeah,
tried. He gave
that's
it.
a good
He
point.
gave it the old Belgian try.
The old Belgian try.
You have one of your own.
Do I need to draw you a diagram? Oh.
Mm-mm-mm.
Bye.
Is he Australian?
I don't know. Looks like every house in England.
This one has a car and it's red.
Ah. Hastings, please do not hump the car.
This is my job.
But people had to work a lot harder to entertain themselves before there was TV.
It's like they're afraid we're going to forget who Hastings is. Everybody else is in white linen. And we know Poirot because he's got the mustache.
Right.
But Hastings has to have that incredible striped jacket.
That distinctive jacket.
Distinctive. There you go.
Very distinctive. Hot lead, baby. Hot lead. I say, is this the top 40 station? You didn't hump it, did you? Oh, Reichenbach Falls.
Hercule Poirot.
Yeah,
Should I? She doesn't even say she's sorry. Are you any good?
The detective. Well, a pretty good detective.
Compliment me more.
Is that all you can find to say?
Say it.
That's hilarious. Hastings, you are supposed to build me up, yes?
She is not stupid. She is ignorant.
Oh, no wonder they call you Nick. She makes it so easy for whoever's trying to kill her. Oh, look at that. Another life threatening accident. They just keep happening to me. Your cousin Vise gives you good advice.
Ah!
The war. Because there's only been one so far.
Mm-hmm.
What a
No, no,
strange
no.
coincidence. Just like all those other accidents.
All my eye and Betty Martin.
Good dog.
Oh man. Just put him in his place.
Mhm. Solving the case is easy. He listened to Hastings, and then I assumed the solution is the opposite of whatever he said.
Not just assume, my friend. I know it.
Is always the case, yes?
Oui, oui.
Just looking for the shitter.
They don't all know who I am.
What kind of place is this?
Uh, I like that red dress.
Oh,
It's pretty with the drapey bit on the
yeah.
sleeves. Oh, the purple. That's the one Freddie's wearing. Nice little drape in the back and the purple gloves. Super cute.
Yeah. Now you're catching on.
He's pouting. Oh, look at him. Oh, golly, that cut.
You didn't know. Nobody knows. Genghis Khan, that's how you know you're in a classy place, when the drinks match the paint on the walls.
Fancy.
Yeah. Well, that's always a good sign.
Hey, it worked in the law office.
That's true.
Kara, nice. They're too late.
Because that's where I'm from, you know. Hastings, I do believe that was the most Australian man I've ever met.
Hmm.
Oh, you think maybe he's not really Australian?
Well, I mean, Hastings said, they were thoroughly Australian, so therefore, obviously, they
So
can't
he's
be.
definitely not. He's never
Yes.
even been to Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crikey.
He's just watched movies. Or, excuse me, the picture shows.
The cinema.
That is a cute outfit.
Skipper?
There you go, Hastings. You need to say that more often.
Did you forget how to answer the goddamn door? She's the cheerful one in the family. As promised, fireworks.
One does. Casey, some random geek does pop in from time to time.
He
Kara,
hasn't
I
been to
missed
one
it.
of the Wednesday streams for a while, but he's usually,
Yeah.
if I do like a Friday stream, he's off and around. Yeah. Who asked you? You're Hastings. You wouldn't know where to find your own ass if you had both hands.
To the Continental.
Oh, that last one was awfully loud.
Gee, I wonder.
Whoopsie. It's cousin. What's her name?
Poirot has been wrong this whole time.
Dun dun dun. Stately Wayne Manor. Why is the limo driver investigating the crime?
Well, because they don't pay very much, so
No.
they've got to have a side gig.
It's got to work a second job. Sure, I got it.
Chunking dress, exactly.
I don't want to live without whatever my cousin's name was. I forget.
As they will be.
Oh, thank you, Casey. I appreciate that.
And apparently the nurse.
They're Lucying her from Dracula.
Kara, cousin, remember?
Yeah, cousin, not sister.
And I thought you got this one mixed up, but I thought you figured out which one it was. Mm. Oh, syntax. Oh, Poirot knows everything, my friend. Mr. I love the ants. No, those are just nurses.
Surprise nuns.
Nuns, nurses, the potato.
Turn the light out and go to sleep.
She don't feel so good now.
Boy, having your cousin murdered just will straight up ruin your day.
I know, right? Ah! Why are you up so early? How about that one? Mm-hmm.
Now, answer me now. My breakfast pizza has arrived.
What a fun hat. I really do like that hat.
Hey, there
Cute
he
dress
is.
too. Milwaukee.
Malarkey.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Poirot's right. Like the tie. Poirot's. Yeah. It went together so nicely, and then the contrast on the skirt there is like, hello. What did he say disgusted? I was
I didn't catch it.
Uh-huh.
All the usual guff. Women?
The dames,
People?
you know.
The tomatoes.
He's so good at looking so clueless. My husband.
Nice going, Poirot.
Hey, HB Haga. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To be continued. Dun dun dun.
Oh, I forgot we can't talk about the ending. Ah!
Well, that's it for this week.
Yep. And you're not the sort to make predictions, hmm?
No, no.
Okay.
I am not.
Well, in that case,
I
shall
j-
we
I
move
just
on?
want to be entertained.
You just want were you entertained? Are you not
Are you not
entertained?
entertained? I am entertained, actually. Yes, you were about
I'm
to say we
so
should
glad.
play. We should play Wordle.
We should play Wordle.
We
So
should play Wordle.
how do we do this?
Would you like to
Steve?
know how we play Wordle?
I would love to know how we play Wordle in you know, since we're not, you know, in the same room, in the same house, in the same state.
That's true. We're hundreds of miles away. In fact,
I know.
So here's how this works, everybody. If you haven't played Wordle with us before, this is today's Wordle from the New York Times. Dana is not actually looking at the Wordle board, however. She is only going by my description of it. and we're going to work together to solve this puzzle. And you all who are watching can join in. If you have not yet solved today's Wordle puzzle and you want to throw in suggestions and propose possible solutions, please do so in the live chat. We will solve it together. The only thing we ask is that if you have
No
solved today's
spoilers.
Wordle, yes, if you have solved today's Wordle and you know the answer, please do not give it away. So, all that being said, Dana, shall we begin?
Yes. Shall we begin with our typical starter?
Heart.
Yes.
Heart. Heart. Let's see what we've got. We have an A in the right spot, and that is it.
Oh.
So
well, let's
no
go
H,
with the next
no
one.
E. Okay, lions.
No R and no T.
No R and no T, but the third letter is A.
Okay.
So try lions.
Yes, please.
Lions, Lions, and that gives us that gives us an L, but in the wrong spot. And it gives us an N in the right spot. So we know that the third letter is A and the fourth letter is N. And
so
one of the other letters is an L.
Something,
but
A,
actually,
N, something. And there's an L somewhere.
And I would say if the L isn't the first letter, then the L has almost got to be the second letter. How could the word end with A and L? Yeah. So something LAN something.
Well, I was going to say plant, but it can't be plant because it's not heart.
Right. It could be P, though. It could be PLAN something. It could be plank. PLANK.
I think that is an excellent guess, Steve.
Do you want to try that?
Yes, let's.
Plank. PLANK. Let's see. That's it.
We're so clever. That? Yay, us.
Plank.
Y'all were no help whatsoever.
We didn't even need you. We appreciate you being here.
You snooze, you lose. Of course, it's honestly, we have a head start.
That's true. There's like a 30-second delay. Yeah. But we got it. Liz Bland, that's a good guess, but that's not it.
Yep. But that would have been an excellent
I think that would have worked. Yeah. But
that would have been that might have been our next guess if plank hadn't worked, especially if there was no P and no K. Bland would have been an excellent one. Yeah.
I don't know. I think bland is kind of a boring guess.
You think, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You would, Steve.
It just feels a little plain, not very adventurous.
A little dull, somewhat tepid.
A little dull. Yeah. Doesn't have any spice to it,
No panache.
No panache. No panache.
Well,
shall we?
Let's wrap it up.
So don't forget
during the episode.
Yeah. So don't forget Friday. Come back Friday at 6 Eastern, and we are watching 2 episodes.
2 whole episodes,
or 1 2-part episode, depending on how you reckon it. But we are watching Batman the Animated Series, Robin's Reckoning.
Depending on how you reckon it.
Reckon it. Robin's Reckoning starting Friday night at 6. We hope you can join us for that. And then on Saturday, starting at 5 Eastern, that is me and Dana and Jason doing the Ensign's Log live Q&A stream. So,
and somebody asked about submitting. That they said was it Snakebit Cat said they wouldn't be able to be there on Saturday and asked about submitting questions early. I don't. Do we take questions early? And if so,
yeah, I don't know if we don't usually, but I mean, I guess if you had like a question you wanted us to address and you can't be there, then I suppose you could.
Like you could add it to Steve on like Twitter or something.
Yeah, or something, or just throw it in the chat right now, and I'll try to remember it. I mean,
I won't. I suck. I suck at remembering things.
Oh,
you're so much better at it than I am.
I know. So we'll see you. We'll see you on Friday for that, and on Saturday for that. Don't forget Dana's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dana Coldares.
Leave me comments.
Yes, please. She was complaining about that on the phone earlier today. And also Dana's Patreon, patreon.com/Dana Coldares. And also my Patreon, patreon.com/Steve Shives. And also click the join button to support my channel by becoming a member. And also charitylinks.page.
In the description.
In the description.
Because we know of people who need help, and helping people is good.
Helping people is good.
Helping people is good. And then next
Indeed.
Wednesday, we'll continue, actually, since we're watching the second part of Robin's Reckoning immediately, then our 2-part cycle will continue.
Yes.
With DS9.
Yes. Paradise Lost, which is the second part of the 2-parter that began last week with Homefront. So there you go.
See, I always thought Paradise Lost. No, Paradise Lost is the first one.
Right. And then Paradise
Found
or Paradise, one. Yeah.
Regained or something. I don't
know. Kara, it's the 19th. The 18th is tomorrow. The 19th is
the day
Friday.
After tomorrow.
It's Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Eastern. So if you're like,
so whatever time that is for you over there.
If you're in somewhere that's not that time zone, it's going to be a different time.
Yes, but it's the 19th, not the 18th. So,
yes.
And so next week will be Paradise Lost, Deep Space Nine, and then the week after that will be part 2 of the Poirot episode we just watched, part 2 of Peril at End House. So,
woohoo!
There we go.
And then we'll get to find out who the murderer is. You have to wait a whole week this time.
Yeah, I know. A whole 2 weeks.
Really, no guesses, Steve? Oh, that's right, because next week is DS9. Well, Steve, are you sure you don't want to flip it around so we can find out who the murderer is sooner?
No. I think it's Hastings. I think Hastings is the murderer. That's why there are so many failed attempts.
Couldn't get it right the first time.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh no, I've missed her," and he just kept trying and trying and trying, and just
Whoopsie. All right.
All right, everybody. Me too. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you Friday for Robin's Reckoning, and Saturday for the Ensign's Log live stream, and next week for Deep Space Nine.
Back here.
Bye, everybody.